Nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering willows lay Fairhold, a town known for its unusual name and even more unusual way of life. It was known as the town of trust. Here, trust was not just a virtue, it was the very air they breathed, the foundation upon which their lives were built. It was in the smiles exchanged between strangers, the unspoken agreements, the helping hand offered without a second thought. In Fairhold, doors were left unlocked, neighbours looked after each other's children, and a promise whispered was as good as a signed contract. This deep-rooted trust was not something new. It had been woven into the fabric of the town for generations. It was a legacy passed down from parent to child, a shared value that bound them together as a community. The origins of Fairhold's unwavering trust were shrouded in the mists of time, but one story echoed through the years. It was the legend of the unseen hand. As the tale went, in the town's early days, a devastating fire swept through Fairhold, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Just when hope seemed lost, unseen hands reached out from the smoke and flames, pulling people to safety, offering food and shelter. No one knew for sure who these selfless souls were, but their actions became a symbol of the town's spirit. The unseen hand represented the anonymous acts of kindness, the unwavering support, and the unspoken trust that defined Fairhold. It was a reminder that even in the darkest of times they could rely on each other, even without knowing who was offering help. Sam, a young man from the city, arrived in Fairhold with a heart full of skepticism. He'd grown up in a world where trust was a fragile thing, easily broken and rarely given freely. He had learned to be wary, to guard his heart and his belongings. So when he first heard whispers of the town of trust and the legend of the unseen hand, he scoffed. It all seemed too good to be true, a naive fairy tale in a cynical world. Sam had come to Fairhold seeking a fresh start, a chance to escape the noise and suspicion of city life. He'd inherited his grandfather's old bookstore, a charming little shop tucked away on a quiet street. As he began to unpack boxes and dust off shelves, he couldn't shake off the feeling that he had stumbled into a place vastly different from what he was used to. One sunny morning, as Sam was arranging books in the shop window, he noticed a basket filled with freshly baked bread sitting on his doorstep. There was no note, no indication of who had left it. Confused, he stepped outside and looked around, but the street was empty. Just then, Mrs. Willowbrook, the kindly baker from across the street, poked her head out of her shop. "Good morning, Sam," she called out. "I saw you were busy setting up shop, so I thought you might enjoy some of my blueberry scones. They're fresh from the oven." Sam stammered. "This is incredibly kind of you, Mrs. Willowbrook, but you really didn't have to do that." Mrs. Willowbrook chuckled. "Nonsense, dear boy. It's just what we do in Fairhold. We take care of each other. Besides," she added with a wink, "it's payment for the book you'll be lending me later." Sam was taken aback. "Lending you? But I don't even know." Mrs. Willowbrook smiled. "Don't worry, dear. You'll figure it out. Enjoy the scones." And with that, she disappeared back into her shop.